up to that reputation. Will you describe India as a power maximizer or a security maximizer state?
I think in the global level, it is a power maximizer, and at the national level, it.
Come Vaidehi.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Vaidehi is from, as per the DAF,
Yes.
is from Uttarakhand,
Yes, sir.
but also has some connection with Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Very well. She has opted for PSIR
Yes.
and otherwise an engineer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Vaidehi, can you very briefly comment on your name? What is the origin of the name? And to whom does it belong?
So it belongs to goddess Sita, and my name comes from the word Videha. So the daughter of the king of Videha is Vaidehi, and which was Janak. So, and he was called Videha because he had the ability to transcend his body. That is the origin of the word, and it belongs to Sita.
Excellent. Can you recall, Vaidehi, what were the topics of your essay in the main examination this year?
Yes, sir. Sir, it was, the first one was not all those who wander are lost.
Okay.
And the second one was that it was about women and men, gender equality, sir.
Okay. All right. So, just in 2 sentences, what was the theme you covered in Not All Those Who Wander Are Lost?
Sir, I actually covered, there's a quote by Sahil Ludhianvi,
Rishad.
which was, मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया.
Correct.
And one was, so it was broadly on those lines that we must explore, our spirit must be full of exploration, and after exploring only we can identify who we are really.
Okay. So, are you familiar with a totally unfamiliar couplet of that song? मैं जिंदगी का साथ.
So I'm just familiar with these two
Oh, the
lines
first
only.
line.
Yeah.
Okay. नक्शो निगारे जीस्त बनाने का शौक था. नक्शो निगारे जीस्त means I had the passion to draw, to sketch out the outlines of my life. नक्शो निगारे जीस्त बनाता चला गया.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So some questions from PSIR. Expect a lot of questions from this.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Although your academic background is engineering,
Yes, sir.
but PSIR is your optional.
Yes.
Which are the areas of your interest? International relations, theories, Plato, Aristotle, Machiavelli? What?
All of them, sir.
All of them. All right. So, can you tell me the difference between classic realism and the neo-realism and the varieties?
So classical realism was originated by Morgenthau, and neo-realism was by Kenneth Waltz and Mearsheimer. Classical realism, sir, he bases the behavior of the states on the nature of human itself.
Okay.
Because humans are egoistic in nature,
Right.
that is why states are also egoistic, and power is an end in itself.
Right.
But in neo-realism, they go further and they correct Morgenthau, and they say that it is the states are they are units, and it is not just the nature of the states, but the way the world order is arranged that the states behave the way they do.
So there is that billiards ball theory also.
Yes, sir.
Very briefly, what is it?
So in the billiards ball theory, it is assumed that all the states are balls in a billiards game, and they keep interacting.
It has an outer shell and an inner shell.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And they keep interacting with each other, and that's how the balance of power is maintained.
Very well. So George Bodelsky commented that globalization is neither a problem nor a solution, but only a process. What is your comment on that?
So globalization is indeed a process. We cannot negate globalization. We have to deal with the advantages and disadvantages that it brings along. So currently we see that it is in a flux. There is deglobalization also which is happening, but at the same time there are countries which are going for globalization in itself.
Okay. UN was not created to take the humanity to heaven, but prevent it from falling into hell, said Dag Hammarskjöld.
Yes.
in 1954, the second Secretary General.
Yes.
Do you think that UN has lived up to that reputation?
So to a certain extent it has. We've not seen the Third World War. So we can definitely say that UN has been able to balance, but again we are seeing Russia-Ukraine war that is happening, or the Israel-Hamas issue, and the US has not been able to do anything of substance in this case. Hence it has failed in certain areas.
So if you have to describe India, will you describe India as a power maximizer or a security maximizer state?
So it would be difficult to look at it with a binary lens. India is a power maximizer at some places and security maximizer at others.
Okay.
I think in the global level, it is a power maximizer, and at the national level, it is a security maximizer.
Okay. Non-alignment movement was a low-cost pragmatic policy. Do you agree?
To a certain extent, it was, sir. We did not align with either of the worlds, and we were able to draw benefits out of both by cooperating with both of them. So to that extent, yes. However, it was seen as idealistic in some ways. We were not able to completely engage like other countries were during that time.
Okay.
So,
can you tell me 6 distinct phases of Indian foreign policy, year-wise? Hint?
I'm not sure about 6, sir, but I can try naming
Broadly?
some, like for
Starting in
example.
47?
Yes, sir, it was the Nehru era of idealism, which ended in 1962 with the China war. Then it was Indira Gandhi's advent when she went for strategic realism, I would say. Then
So 62 to 71 is second phase.
Yes, sir.
Then
Yes.
something happened in between 61 and 62 and 71. Something in the field of technology which affected the Indian foreign policy. It became more independent.
Can I take a guess, sir?
Yes.
So maybe the nuclear.
Well, that was there. Something to do with food.
So we were dependent on.
Green Revolution.
Oh yes, the Green Revolution. Yes.
Then dependence on America was
reduced.
71, then 71 to 91.
91.
With 74 as the first poker.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And then 91 we had we liberalized, and then post that we can say
91 to 98, and then 2008, and then 2014 onward.
Yes.
These are the broad 6 phases.
Thank you,
Jaishankar has also spoken about them.
Okay,
Okay, just brush it up.
Sure, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sir.
Right, you are a very interesting candidate.
Thank you, sir.
Right, I will show you a picture and I want you to make a 5-line story which should have some lesson for people of some kind. All right, you can come and have a look.
Sure, sir.
You can keep this one with you for a while. You see this picture?
Yes, sir.
You want to keep this one with you?
No, it's fine, sir. So can I take a moment to think?
Yeah, please take your time.
So these two dogs, which are trying to get the bark, the piece of wood from each other, they can be India and China, who are fighting over the borders, who want to control the border, and the lesson that we will infer is from that we can infer from this is like how Kautilya says that it is the strength of the lion that will win. So in this case, whoever shows maximum strength is going to win.
And what story can you make out of this for a civil servant?
Sir, for a civil servant, there can be always two conflicting interests, and which might pull the civil servant apart, maybe some personal versus professional commitments that they might have. In that scenario, they have to understand that the values of empathy, honesty, tolerance, etc. should be used to solve the situation. Maybe there might be some communal issues between two communities, and the civil servant might have to intervene and help out. So that's what I can think of right now, sir.
Okay. You're also a student of PSIR,
Yes.
right? How would you describe Pakistan elections? They were fair, they're unfair. How would you rate them?
Sir, certainly there were some sections are claiming that they were unfair, they were rigged. I would say, sir, that they are revolutionary because
Revolutionary.
yes, sir. In certain ways, with the like how democracy is like, it's not a democracy, perfect democracy over there, definitely. But I'm saying that ultimately the army has won in either case. Whoever be the prime minister doesn't matter anymore. And also, Imran Khan has been able to show the world that the civilian government can exercise some sort of control with him floating independent candidates. So that is how I look at it, sir.
Okay, now the whole world knows that it has not been a fair election, right? Like you said, the army has won,
Yes,
maybe
sir.
democracy failed. America has still complimented Pakistan for an excellent election. And India has built a very strategic relationship with America.
Yes, sir.
So, can you trust a country which refuses to see what is black and which is white in this world of international affairs?
So, like how Mr. Jaishankar says that India is aligned to its national interest. It is not about trusting the US, it is about forming multiple alignments in today's world. And also, like, obviously, Henry Kissinger says that there are no friends and foes in foreign policy. So, we cannot trust America, nor can we deny that they are an important pole.
All right. Now, you are also a student of information technology.
Yes, sir.
I recently read a book called Darkening Web,
Okay.
which talks of cyber war, information war, perception war, and all that kind of thing. And he mentions top 8 countries who have made progress in this. And that does not have India's name. In that book of 500 pages, India is not even mentioned once. And India considers itself an IT powerhouse.
Yes.
Do you think something is out of the place here?
Sir,
That
India,
we are losing on when the world is world of undeclared wars, when you're fighting wars which are not seen. And
Yes, sir.
cyber war is one part of that. So India is somewhere missing the woods for the trees.
So India is definitely making strides. Of course, we have definite challenges in the cyberspace. Like we are thinking of having an Indian cyberspace agency within the army or along with the defense forces. So to that extent, we have the National Technical Research Organization which is working. But definitely there is some lacuna that needs to be fulfilled. We come under attacks from countries like China and Russia sometimes. So we need to be wary, we need to employ more funds, have more cyber engineers.
Okay, Israel, a country of 7-8 million, Estonia, a country of 3-4 millions. They are part of the 8 countries. India, a country of 1.4 billion people, with a whole lot of ITs. You're
Yes.
IT graduate. Okay. Now, you wrote your second essay on gender equality.
Yes.
This Republic Day parade was full of women. Women in band, women in parade, women on motorcycles.
Yes, sir.
This is good photo optics. And now the government is talking of putting women in combat arms.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with this, that in the name of gender equality, we are trying to push the barriers with which at some point of time we may have to regret?
So being a woman myself, I don't think that that's a problem. In fact, we should be pushing more. In fact, if we see other countries like Israel, I think also has women being inducted into the army. CRPF is raising its first women battalion, paramilitary battalion. So we should be encouraging such measures, but definitely we should take measures so that women are not being used as a tool in case there is a war by the enemy, if that happens.
I have not understood your last sentence.
So
Enemy, they're not used as a tool by the enemy.
yes, sir. So, like
you
for
trying to say?
example, if there is a war between two countries, and let's say there is a women soldier employed, and they take her hostage and try to negotiate with the country
You
based
can't
on
dictate
this.
to the enemy what he'll do.
Definitely, that's why we need to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Have you seen anywhere women wrestlers fighting men wrestlers?
No, sir.
Have you anywhere seen women boxers fighting men boxers?
No, sir.
Have you seen women cricket team playing against men cricket team?
No, sir.
Have you seen women even playing chess and table tennis against men?
No, sir.
Then why this business of combat arms, where you will not have Pakistani women battalion to fight against?
So, but we can use their capabilities, maybe not in combat directly, but elsewhere in the forces.
The combat is combat arms.
Sir,
The ultimate combat is last 200 yards with the enemy.
sir,
Okay, think it over.
Sure, sir.
Now you want to join IAS, you know, the elite of Indian services.
Yes, sir.
For almost 5 decades, Air India was being run by bureaucrats. It was always in debt. It was inefficient. It had to be supported with a life support system.
Yes, sir.
Now Tata has taken over that Air India. In last 3 years, that Air India has come in the top 10 airlines in the world.
Yes, sir.
Are we getting wrong kind of people in civil services?
Sir, I don't think that is happening, sir.
I'm giving you an example. I can give you 10 more.
Sir, like in probably in one case that is there, but like.
Okay, I'll give you another case. In Odisha,
Sure, sir.
there was a dam which was constructed 55 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Right, 55 years ago it was constructed. People were displaced. They got their compensation last year. I can give you many more.
Sir, India is a developing country. We do have issues, but we do have people who are trying to solve it. We have to understand the scale of issues that we have. And
You have so many resources as well.
definitely, sir, but we do have some issues in the bureaucracy itself, but that doesn't negate the work the bureaucracy does as a whole.
Okay, my last question to you is, there was Joshimaths suffered from subsistence, right?
Yes.
Your home state.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people had to be moved out.
Yes.
And now you see in the newspapers all kind of publicity by the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand that you are making multinational roads and highways to Char Dham and also making trains and all that.
Yes, sir.
If I say that the government has not learnt a lesson from the Joshimath subsistence, and the same thing was also reported in Mussoorie, and you are making the same mistakes trying to put pressure on a mountain system which cannot sustain that kind of pressure. Your view?
So definitely there has to be a balance between development and ecology, especially in the case of Uttarakhand, which is a Himalayan state and suffers from so many disasters. Sir, I think as far as I can recall, there are some committees that are being formed now to study the geology and then go further with the project. But even these projects are a very important part of the economy of the state, sir.
What are the whole, half the state comes down?
Sir,
it's happening in a lot of places. What happened in Himachal Pradesh this time?
Yes, sir. But going forward, definitely I think the administration will take into consideration the negatives.
So they'll take into consideration last 75 years they haven't. Administrators are all civil servants. You want to be one.
So now that, sir, if I'm given the chance to serve in my state, then I will definitely try in whatever capacity I can to balance development and ecology. So,
all right. Thank
yes,
you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Yes,
Your name is Vaidehi.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me, Vaidehi, that there was a lot of injustice given to that, and Vaidehi Sita ji.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think of that?
Ma'am, I think everything needs to be understood in the context in which it is based. The time of Sita ji were different from the times that we live in now. So definitely there was some injustice that was done to her. But if we look at the context in which she was placed, we will not say that it was injustice, because we will think how the traditional practices were during that time. Apart from that, she was supposed to be made a model, in my opinion, by Tulsidas ji or Valmiki ji, that this is what is supposed to not happen to women. So the idea must have been to alleviate or show the issues and the plight of women instead of highlighting the injustice that's done, as a way of highlighting injustice that's done to her.
But imagine the sufferings of Sita.
Definitely, ma'am, the treatment that was met out to her will not pass the justice test, definitely, if we look at it now. But then I think again it was done as a way to warn society that this is not how we should treat women.
But is this the way to show to the society that this is not the treatment that should be given?
No, ma'am, definitely it could have been better. But then again, I would say that it was like Sita ji was the child of her times, and that is why it happened.
Or do you think it was Ram, the king's view for himself to get the blessings of his praja?
Ma'am, definitely he was having some personal and professional dichotomy in when he was the king. He was trying to make sure that justice was being upheld at any cost, even if it comes at the cost of him having to desert his wife. So he was trying to lead an idealistic path.
So G20,
Yes, ma'am.
what were the major achievements?
In G20, India was able to show that it was a leader of the global south. Then there was the IMEC corridor that was inaugurated during G20. We were able to host the G20 summit all across the country, especially in Kashmir, showing how it is an integral part of the country. That's all I can recall.
Even though plastic has lot of hazards, plastic products,
Yes,
everywhere plastic products is increasing.
yes, ma'am.
What can be done about it?
Ma'am, like how, first of all, we can promote other sustainable products which can replace plastics. Like, for example, steel straws can replace plastic straws. We can increase the micron level of plastic bags so that they can be decomposed easily. We can also go for correct segregation and recycling of plastic products.
Sorry. What do you think of caste census?
Ma'am, caste census is a good exercise as far as it is able to being used for understanding the socio-economic demography of the country. And ma'am, as it is said that what cannot be accounted for cannot be governed. So to that extent, it is a very good exercise. However, it should not be politicized or it should not be used for nefarious ends is what I think should be done for the caste census.
If you were to change one step in administration, what would that be? Say district administration.
Ma'am, for example, in my district, Dehradun, I would like to have technology more included. And I say this because currently we have two capitals. One is in Garsen and one is in Dehradun. So if we upgrade technology, then all the parts, especially the hilly regions of Uttarakhand, they will be able to have governance at their doorstep. So that's what I would want to include.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, Vaidehi,
Yes, sir.
you are a smart woman to say the least. You have a background in STEM, and you obviously have a good command over your academics.
Yes.
But tell me, what about the rest of the women? Why are women underrepresented in STEM in India?
Sir, we have the percentage of women has increased in STEM. However, if you look at the global averages, it is still low. And so the reason is that first of all, there are dual responsibilities for women of household and the profession. Secondly, sir, for pursuing research in STEM, you have to be at a certain place and might have to work beyond normal working hours. So that is considered unsafe for women. There are very less facilities of work from home for women working in labs, etc., or in the STEM field. Those are some of the issues I can.
All right. Do you think it has something to do with the way we are socialized?
Yes.
And how does the society play a role in this? Perhaps the problem that you are describing starts at a younger age.
Definitely, sir. Socialization is an issue in the country. Women are seen as being, sir, like how the second sex, like after men, and they are not considered to be as intelligent as men. And hence, this is there's a conventional notion around women. But sir, we are definitely fighting it. I'm in the technology field. I'm a part of it, sir.
Yes. Speaking of which, you work as a senior systems engineer at Infosys.
Yes, sir.
What does Infosys stand for? Is that an abbreviation?
Yes, sir. It's Information Systems Limited.
All right. And since you have exposure to information systems and you are a systems engineer, what do you think is the role of artificial intelligence in governance?
Sir, artificial intelligence is very important in governance. The role is increasing day by day. We are using, for example, sir, in IRCTC website, we have the Disha chatbot. It's also a way of using AI in making governance simplified. Sir, apart from that, we are having many, like there is this bandicoot, which is being used to clean the sewer holes, which were earlier being used for people were going and manually scavenging those holes. So these are some of the examples of AI in governance.
All right. Let me ask you a little bit about what you think about the farmer protests and just cutting straight to the point.
Yes.
Are you pro-farmer or pro-government?
Sir, I am pro-India. It's not anywhere. We have to understand that ultimately the government also wants the benefit of the farmers, and the farmers want their own benefit. Agriculture is the backbone of the country. So I feel like I don't side with any of them. I would actually say that there has to be consultations between the two parties.
Okay. And on the side of the farmers, what is it that they really demand? The top 3 demands?
Sir, one is legalization of MSP. Second demand is to ban FDI and corporatization of agriculture. And third would be withdrawal from WTO and all the trade agreements related to WTO.
Yes, and when you hear suggestions like these, they sound retrograde.
Yes,
just
sir.
by the sound of them, not even going into the merits. What are the counter arguments that the government is pressing for against these demands? Why should they not be unanimously met?
Sir, as far as what I have read and understood out of these is that these demands are not correct, because if we talk about legalization of MSP and if we legalize the entire structure, there will be a lot of burden on the fiscal exchequer. Apart from that, sir, climate change is already affecting agriculture, and if we keep giving money on water guzzling crops like rice and wheat, it's going to hurt our system even more. So second point would be World Trade Organization. We cannot unilaterally move out of the World Trade Organization because it has benefits for us as a country. And sir, corporatization of agriculture will actually lead to more benefits for the farmers themselves. So those are the arguments I can think of.
Good. You also mentioned that you like reading non-fiction books and blogging.
Yes.
What are your favorite 3 non-fiction books, and what is it that you blog about?
So currently, my 3 favorite would be I am Malala, which is Malala Yousafzai's autobiography. Then, sir, I've read a book on Indian foreign policy by Harshvi Pant. That's the one that I like. And so third is the one that I'm currently reading. It's called Rivals, where it's about the rise of the rest and decline of the US, like rise of India, China, etc., and Japan. And sir, I used to blog about issues, current affairs issues, but now I blog about my own personal thoughts and feelings more.
Okay. And which brings me directly to journaling.
Yes.
And the benefits that you get. Do you think it's a good way of putting your thoughts out into the world and really exposing what is it that you really feel with regards to mental health? You know, because what you think and what you feel, and you put it out there instead of keeping it in a private journal. Do you think that's a mentally better option, or what is it that your thought is on that?
So it's good. If we if we are writing our thoughts, it might have a spillover effect. Somebody might read our blog and they might feel that they're going through the same struggle. So they might reach out to us, or they might feel comforted that it's not me who's alone, who's battling the issues. So to that extent, I feel it's a good thing, sir.
All right. So again, coming back to science.
Yes, sir.
Can you name the top 2 achievements of the Indian space program? Any 2 in recent times?
So one would be Chandrayaan-3 moon landing, and second would be Aditya L1 mission going in the L1 point.
All right. And many of these initiatives that we take are for pure research also.
Yes, sir.
How do you justify the millions that we spend on space research when there are millions of people who are yet homeless?
Sir, if we look at research from the point of view of how it aids in the socio-economic development of the country, then this argument would be considered as flawed. So like there are so many ISRO projects earlier also which have been able to prevent disasters in different states. So we have the Gagan project which is helping fishermen uh, when there are tides. So all these, if you look into account all these things, then it has helped actually alleviate poverty in the country. And they are not solely research-based projects; they are projects which are aiding in the national development.
All right. My last question to you.
Sure.
I noticed that your service preferences are atypical.
Yes, sir.
You have chosen IAS as the first,
Yes,
and you have chosen the Indian Account Services as the second.
yes.
So, what makes you so eager for that?
Sir, I chose Indian Account Service as the second because it offers, as far as what I have read, is that it offers some interesting postings in different countries, in different organizations where the CAG can go and audit. I don't want to settle outside completely. That's why I've kept foreign service below and audits above, and so actually that's the broad reason why I've chosen this service.
And any particular reason why you have omitted IPS?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think personally I'm a little bit averse to violence. Maybe I will not be able to tackle the
But don't you think
police
you're exactly the type of person that would make for a good one?
for IPS?
Yes.
Sir, based on my own judgment, I don't think I will be able to
That's
tackle
fair
IPS.
enough. Thank you.
Come, Vaidehi. Take a seat. What is your own assessment about this mock interview on a scale of 1 to 10?
Sir, I won't be able to rate myself, but I think
Broadly, the ballpark.
7 maybe.
Okay. Very accurate. And you have the capability to reach 9 also.
Yes,
Okay.
sure, sir.
So, some general points. What do you propose to wear for the interview? When is your interview, firstly?
It's on 15th of March.
Okay, not
Yeah.
very far.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you
And-
propose to wear?
I'm wearing a sari, sir.
Okay.
Not the suit, definitely.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
So, wear that standard UPSC sari, the border and other thing, madam can advise you better. No jewelry,
Yes.
no religious symbols, no watch, no nothing. And your greeting etiquette is fine. If greet the chairperson, lady, and acknowledge.
Okay.
Right. Skill and aptitude. Your thoughts. And come out with flying colors. And optional paper.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Sure.
connect
Sure, sir.
foreign. I just wanted to give you a hint that and take off in very for
Sure, sir.
read them well. All
Yes, sir.
whether Russia what will be the end game for ball gazing. In terms economically,
Yes, sir.
NATO from coming to land already part of probing questions may be asked.
Oh.
Always have a 360.
Sure, sir. Sure.
You
Yes.
should be able to point assessing everything, all issues on its own merits.
Sure, sir. Okay.
That is it, because farmers also have an issue. It is
Yes.
not exactly a very remunerative, lucrative activity.
Yes.
Full of hazards, natural and otherwise,
Sure, sir.
market. And the state is also not able to give that kind of a, instead of legalization of MSP, say asking for a statutory status, you know.
Okay. Sure, sir.
MSP is not illegal,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
there is no law,
Correct, sir.
there is no statute. It is an administrative decision,
Sure,
and
sir.
it varies every year, you know,
Yes.
Ministry of Agriculture and all. So that kind of thing. All 7 parts of your GS and all current affairs related to those 7 parts.
Sure, sir.
Please be alive to everything.
Okay, sir.
Go through that.
Definitely.
PSIR, I've already sounded you.
Yes, sir.
Please revise it thoroughly.
Okay.
Imagine what could be the questions. Israel, IDF, Hamas conflict, a possible resolution. Why this situation has arisen, historical background,
Sure, sir.
PICO-SAIC agreement, and how the mandate system and all that thing after First World War.
Okay, sir.
Entire thing.
Sure.
Have a good perspective on that.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Some tricky question may be asked about putting you in an ethical dilemma.
Yes, sir.
Your answers, your stand in interview and subsequently when you join the service. You have to uphold the constitutional morality and values and be on the right side of the law all the time.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
There is no second option.
Okay, sir.
Notwithstanding orders, if they are not lawful, notwithstanding from wherever they emanate, the touchstone is these 3 things.
Sure, sir.
A controversial issue, if a court ruling is available, go with that.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure, sir.
Would you like to ask us anything?
No, sir. That would be okay.
Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.
So, may I,
Yeah, please.
Sure.
just because your name,
Yes, ma'am.
so you have to
Be conversant with the all background of mythology regarding Vaidehi.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
ठीक है?
Okay.
Because that could be a very probable sphere.
Sure.
Just leading off to what ma'am is saying, because of her name, I mean, it may go into the direction of secularism and the Ram Mandir thing.
Yes, sure.
So, you're aware.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, sir.
So one line here, justification of in the context of what happened to Vaidehi.
Yes.
See, there the duty of a king has taken precedence over justice to the individual. The duty of the king is that public opinion is so important that even an opinion is expressed indirectly, overheard by the king, that which is
Yes.
not exactly holding the king in the good light. The king will have to secure the confidence of even one person, even at the great cost and injustice being caused to his
Own wife.
Yes.
dear and near ones.
Sure.
That is the morality and ethics which has been demonstrated in the legend. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Undoubtedly, unfair treatment to the individual. But the idea is to demonstrate, conclusively demonstrate what is the king, righteousness for king. That's a safe answer.
Sure, sir.
Okay?
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.